Hi guys, this is Vanngo. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I invite the beautiful Eliza Chamon here. She lent me her gorgeous canvas to create the latte makeup look for you. It is apparently a trend, but we do brown tone neutral all the time. But if you call this a trend, this is a version of how I take the latte makeup. I hope you enjoy the video. Give the channel always a lot of love. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And don't forget to follow Eliza, my team, and I on Instagram as well. Thank you. To start every makeup, I always prep the skincare first. The first product I'm using is the Summer Friday Lip Butter Balm. The scent I'm using is vanilla. They have all the scent as well, but for some reason I keep going back to this scent. This is very hydrating and it's really good for moisturizing your lips. It contains shea butter, vegan wax, and natural vanilla flavor. This can use for overnight as a lip mask as well. And this is a vegan formula. The next product I'm using is the Eye Revival Brightening Eye Cream from Rose Inc. This one helps to diminish the puffiness. It does contain niacinamide, one of my favorite ingredients, to brighten the under eye area. And it does have squalane to hydrate. This is also a vegan formula. Always very gentle around the eye area because it's the most delicate area on your face. The next product I'm using is the Rose Inc. Radiant Review Clean Brightening Serum. For me, it's a very hydrating serum. It contains vitamin C, squalane, help to brighten the skin. For me, this one here, if you do have oily skin, you can even do very minimize on the moisturizer because it's a very, very moisturizing serum as well. It's very beautiful. You see I just really press gently the product into the skin. The last product I'm using is the Rose Inc. Hydration Replenishing Micro Encapsulated Plumbing Gel Moisturizer. This one does contain cooling gel to deliver moisture to the skin. It also has niacinamide to hydrate and calm the skin. Like I said, I love niacinamide on my skin. It also has vitamin C to brighten the skin. It's very lightweight and this is fantastic under makeup. Always give some love to the skin. Give a little massage to wake the skin up. Whatever extra moisturizer you have left, you can do on the chest and the next area. For foundation and concealer, I'm going to use the Lancome 10 Idol Ultra Wear Foundation. The shade I'm using is 415W, 415 warm. And the concealer, I'm using two different shades. This is 10 Idol Ultra Wear All Over Full Coverage Concealer. I'm using the shade 320 for under the eye area and the shade 415 for anywhere I pinpoint, or I can do around the mouth. And keep in mind, I say every time that I try to use two different color concealer just because the second color I only use the same, almost identical to the foundation. For the foundation, this is an absolutely beautiful foundation. It is a full coverage foundation, but you don't have to use full coverage. You can use just a little bit. It is long wear. It is natural matte finish. As you can see, because I prep the skin really well with moisturizing serum. It's still gonna look very luminous. If you use very little moisturizer, it will be pretty matte finish for you. The foundation shade I'm using today, a little bit warmer. The reason because her body a little warmer and then a little lighter here and a little lighter next, so I'm just use one shade and try to blend together. That's the tricky part about foundation when you try to match. Is not everyone head to toes is the same shades, so you just have to use a shade that mimics everywhere else. This foundation is transfer and sweat proof. This is great for all occasion. This is great for summer too. It's good for you if you go and you worry about sweat too much. This is great for that. But it's a foundation for all year round. Eliza have really beautiful skin, so I use just only a few dots. But if someone who have like, acne, bronze or any skin, you can apply way more if you want to. Just put a little more and use the tippling motion like this. You can get a lot of coverage for this, but I don't want to give her face too much coverage because her natural skin is quite beautiful. For concealer, the two shades I'm using, the lighter shades, I use mainly under the eye area. Just keep some brightness. And a little bit on the corner here, just help some lift. You can use your fingers too to blend it out. And then you can use the pinpoint concealer, pinpoint the brush. This is just a blending brush with the deeper concealer. This one is almost the same shade as the foundation. So I just use around the nose for some extra coverage. A little bit around the mouth here. She doesn't have any pimple, so I don't need to do any coverage. But if you want to cover pimple, then this is a perfect shade because it's matching the foundation. To scope and contour, I'm going to use Makeup by Mario Soft Scope Shaping Stick. The shades I'm using is dark. This is the dual-ended. One side is a cream shaping stick and the other side is just a brush, but I'm going to use just the stick. This is more a natural matte finish and it is buildable coverage. For me, this is more like a stick foundation as well. You know what I mean? It's that kind of similar texture, so it's blend really easy and it's very natural. You can use directly on the skin or you can use the way I do, just a little bit at a time. If you find the shade too dark like this, you can use just a lighter shade, but I like to use the color a little deeper so it can help to scope a lot easier and show a lot more the contour. You see the way I do just a little bit, and even the shade is deep, it still doesn't look too harsh. So if you have like a deeper stick foundation, you still can use the same effect. As you can see, the shade look dark, but because I do very lightly and I blend it, so it's still very soft. And then I'm gonna use a little bit on the smaller side and just scope the nose a little bit. Eliza have beautiful nose. You don't need to contour anything at all, but because for camera purposes, I always put a little bit just to define the shape a little more. For powder, I'm going to use Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose and Setting Powder. I'm actually going to use two different shades, the under eye area and the T-zone. I'm going to use banana bread. So this is, I use banana bread. All the light area that I use the lighter concealer, and then the other area I use Blondie. This is just a tiny bit deeper. You can just use banana bread, just one shade. But if you really want to like do the way I do, I would do that, because I think like a tiny bit different on the powder shade does make a big difference. I'm going to use Makeup by Mario Soft Scope Bronzer in shade dark as well. This one, I'm gonna bring back all the area that I use the stick bronzer. And sometimes, you know, you use the powder, it does soften out the area as well. So this way you can bring it all back. For eyebrows, I'm going to use two products from Vanngo Beauty, the Precision Brow Pencil, the shade Brunette, and the True Feather Brow Marker Gel Duo. This is one side is a gel to set and one side is the marker. Eliza eyebrow is quite beautiful. You can just gel them and ready to go. She doesn't have to do much at all, but if you want to be more perfected, and that's what I normally would do a little bit for a shoot or for me in general. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the pencil. The way I always do, you see that, brush backward a little bit. Make them a little fluffier. I'm gonna do one side so you can compare to the different side, and you can decide if you want to keep the eyebrow the way it is, or your taste gonna be enhance them a little bit with the brow pencil and the marker. I always do. I brush back and forth like this, so make it deposit the color without any harsh line. And I know a lot of time people can use the little tips like this and just draw individual hair. You can do that way as well, but I'm going to use with a marker. So you can see the difference between one side and the other side. Right now, you can just gel and ready to go as well. If you want to do more, finesse them a little more, you can add a few individual hair. And then you just gel the eyebrow after. I find that a lot of people comment that they like longer videos, so we're gonna give as much, at least as much footage as you can. So if you think the video too long, you can always fast forward them. But I'm gonna leave as much detail as I can, because a lot of people seem to like it. So you see that how I would do the eyebrow, and then you can compare one side compared to the other side. I'm gonna go and do the other side. So this is more like a fuller brown, but if you like the natural Eliza had earlier, you don't have to do all the detail like I just did. For the eyes, I'm going to use these 4 products. The first product is the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist Weightless Eyeshadow Primer. The second product is the MAC Cosmetic Eye Kohl Pencil. This one, the shade is called Teddy, cult favorite. People loves it. I think it's perfect eyeliner for like a brown liner for everyone. The third one is the Nimya Beauty Eyeshadow Palette. And the shade I'm using, of course, all these more the Latte brown muted color. And the last product is the new launch of Big Beauty. This is Tantalus Lash Big Bold Buildable Mascara. The shade is Blast. It's Tarantula Lash, I think. I hope I say it correct. It's from Bake Up Beauty. For the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, I just use a little bit. This is a weightless hydrating eye primer. It's very sheer. It helps to last eyeshadow longer and less creasing and fading. And I find that when I use these, the shadow due to be more intense. It looks a little more intense, which I like. Next, I'm going to use the eyeshadow, and this is very straightforward, pretty easy to apply. The way I do it, just 2 or 3 eyeshadow, but the way I do it, just like one all about the crease and one a bit more on the along the lash line, and then maybe a little bit on the brown bone. I'm not going to try to make the look too complicated. So you see this shade right here. You see that, the way I do eyeshadow. Every time people do this, doesn't matter what formula, it's gonna have fall out. So you see I do very gentle, dab dab, and then I do the shadow all over. Very little. If you do the way I do, you will never have a problem with the eyeshadow. Same on this side. So you see that the shade I use is pretty close to her natural skin, because the way I do make the eye makeup look I'm doing today, as much as called Latte, you know, all the shade I'm going to just like a brown and somewhat neutral tone. I'm not going to go to like warm bronze, anything like that at all, because I just want to really just about enhancing her features. And as much as what it is, it looks dark on a paler skin color, but on Eliza, sorry, Eliza, it's still gonna look very soft too. So I'm gonna use the same shades again, and I do a little bit on the lower lash line as well. And this eyeshadow is vegan formula. It contains FDA approved talc. It's very smooth and beautiful. And remember, I say in every video, you know, just ignore about all these like makeup review about, you know, like a lot of fallout and all these kind of thing in term when it comes to eyeshadow. Whatever eyeshadow you use, if you use like this, it's still gonna be dusty, it's still gonna be fall out. So forget about all the review for different eyeshadow and fall out. Not everything gonna fall out because it's powder. So if you treat eyeshadow like this, I'm not to talk about this eyeshadow alone, in general. I watch YouTube video myself from some different channel, and people do like this. I mean, you really scope the product out, and it's really gonna be dusty, and then they can sit there and they say, oh my God, this have a lot of fallout. So it will have fallout, doesn't matter what channel. Okay, so the next step I'm gonna do is a flat brush, and I use a deeper brown. And this one here, I'm gonna do mainly along the lash line. And then I just blend it outward and backward like this. And I try to do very easy step. I'm not trying to do complicate under eye makeup. I know it's a trendy thing, but it's been around forever. We always use this shade. I just do this, just like it's this look I'm trying to do is more about enhancing than anything else. Let's see, Eliza, look straight. You see that the eye now just look really beautiful and just a lot more depth. And then you're gonna go back to the other brush and you just blend it out a little bit here, put out more, and then you can look back here and follow the eye shape a little bit. You see that I didn't even add any more color, just the same little bit, and then just a little bit at a time. You don't need to put too much eyeshadow. When you blend, it's gonna be harder. It's better to do a little bit at a time. And then blend it in, blend it out, I mean. And go back to the light shades again. Blend it out. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. You can stop here, curl the lashes, she ready to go, or you can go next step. Next, I'm gonna use a blending brush, same color here. I apply a little bit on this part as well, just a little more depth. This is all personal preference. You don't have to do what I do. I'm gonna show you the difference between one side and the other. And you use that brush, you blend the edges out. You can like the depth there, or you can like the bare in the corner there. It's all personal preference. I'm gonna do the same on this side. So you can leave the bottom natural like that as well. So just the, just that neutral color, and you don't have to add anymore. I like it's on her like that. Same brush, I'm gonna use a little bit of the bone, like a cream color here. I just add a little in the center here, a little bit just for the brightness there. That's it. Just everything very little. And next, I'm gonna go with that blending brush of the dark color. I'm gonna use the brown liner and just keep a little bit more depth on the lash line. And this is a cold pencil, so it's easy to blend. You can blend easy. And you just smudge it out a little bit, just a little more depth, that's all. Same on this side. So you see that I keep the liner just really along the lash line, and again keep with the theme latte. So I didn't go with the black liner, I get more like a brown, like a neutral cool brown color. And then what I'm gonna do as well, I'm gonna add a little bit along the upper lash line just for depth. You don't have to do this part, but for me I like it because when you put mascara on and if they look up, it still have a lot of depth there instead of leaving like a bare upper waterline. You may not even see the difference when I'm done this, but it's just really just for photograph purposes when I look up, look down, or anything like that. Empty brush, the one earlier, you should do a little swoosh again just to blend the edge out. Same on this side. And it doesn't matter what you do, it's always for eyeshadow. I feel that's always look great when you blend it. I'm going to curl the lashes off camera because Eliza eye a little sensitive with the light, so I'm just gonna do off camera and I'll be right back. The lash curler I'm using is from Surat Beauty. So for the Bake Up Beauty Tarantula Lash, this is the big bold buildable mascara. The shades I'm using is black. I think it's only have a black. This is first time using, but from what I heard, it's only a great review. It gives you amazing conditioning lashes, but it's building a lot of mascara, a lot of volume, I mean. And it transfer and resistant free. Eliza eye a little sensitive, so I'm going to do off camera. I'll be right back. This is a great mascara. It transfer resistant and smearing and flaking proof. Eliza eye a little sensitive, so I didn't want to go hard, but I think you can really build with this mascara. You can go as many layers you want to. So you can just build them, and I think you can get a lot of volume with this mascara. It's fantastic. For blush, I'm going to use Laura Mercier Blush Color Infusion. The shade I'm using is this peachy color. I think on Eliza, it's gonna be really beautiful. It can look very natural, her skin color. This is more sheer powder blush color. It's very beautiful. It does give you a natural finish. So you see just a little bit like this, a little bit here. A little mascara earlier. For this look, I think it's better to keep the blush more neutral, but I know this is like a peach color on Eliza and it will still look neutral on her skin color. So if you have paler skin color, then just do more like a nudier blush color. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This is volume number 1. They have 3 shades. It combine, you can use all together or you can use separately to create more that like soft focus highlighter effect. This is Radiant Finish, cruelty free. You see I just use a little bit of everything. And just a little bit around the cheekbone. Very little at a time. You don't want to put too much, but this is still going to give you that very natural highlight. For lips, I'm going to use 2 products from Lawless Beauty. The first one is the Forget the Filler Lip Definer. The shade is called Nude Honey. And the lipstick is the Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Light Smoothing Satin Cream Lipstick. The shade is Cookie. If you don't catch all the shade I'm saying, we always listed everything under the description box, so you can check it out there. For the lips liner, this is long wear, so it helps to define, shape, and fill the lips. This is cruelty free. The shade I'm using is pretty, like neutral. It's a nice color that can be wear on everyone. Eliza lip shape is really beautiful. I keep exactly like it is. I just follow the shape a little bit. And you fill it in. And then for the lips, this is more a hydrating satin lipstick. This does give you that plumping effect, cruelty free as well. For this part, like you can use a lighter lip color, darker lip color, more nude. I use a little bit more, this like a little bit more warmer, friendly color. I think this is beautiful on her skin tone. To set the makeup, I'm going to use the Nessa Myricks Beauty Set It Forever Mist Long Lasting Oil Control Setting Spray. This gonna lock your makeup in 16 hours. And this is a vegan formula. That's the final look, guys. This is like a version of latte makeup or coffee makeup. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. This is Alaya's first time ever be on a camera. So it's an honor to have her here. I hope everyone loved the video. Give the channel always a lot of love. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And don't forget to follow all of us on Instagram as well. Thank you.